Hello, class. Thank you so much for joining me for week five's best place to work discussion. I chose prompt C, which happens to be attracting and retaining top performers. In my discussion, I have three quotes here from the book that I'll use to reference my answers to these questions. As you're aware of, the book that we went over is The Best Place to Work by Dr. Ron Friedman, publisher uh, Pergy, Perigi. I hope that's how you say it correctly. Um, so just to jump into it, discuss interviewing techniques. One of the techniques that the book uses is separating the characteristics, or they use the dimensions of a person, whether they're warm, filling, or competent. Those two separations could have an impact on decision making as far as an interviewer's um, receptiveness to the interviewee. Here we have this um, quote here. Says studies suggest that when we meet someone who is high along one dimension, says an interviewee who is especially friendly, we mistakenly infer that they are low on the other. He must be inept. We tend to assume that warmth and competency are inversely related, and as a consequence, we see friendly candidates as less capable and view capable candidates as interpersonally cold. Friedman, 2014, page 230. So this is that whole concept about separating the two dimensions and having multiple like interviewers focus on the two different categories here, just so that there can be less bias in in creating like an employee or an interviewee's profile to determine whether they're a good fit or not. They also have other techniques about creating um, like tests, or like they gave an example. If you're like a web designer, give them the ability to showcase that they can do like a front page in a website, or if you're a business consultant, showcase that you can do a consulting report. So really show them that they can actually perform, um, and that's a would be a great thing to like find the right person. They also went into the awesome um, I learned this a long time ago, but the whole like orchestra way that they do the blind auditions and blind applications, because it's important to be unbiased and give the person the best chance for their skills and abilities, and not just maybe their appearance, which is one of the things that you have to watch out for as far as interviewing and being an interviewer. Okay, so compare what the text says about your personal experience interviewing for a job. Most of my jobs I got through references, so this is really hard for me. But I do have here a quote. One way of improving a candidate pool is by turning outstanding employee into recruiters. Research shows that people tend to socialize with those with similar personalities. This means that if you have hard workers with an optimistic mindset, chances are they know a number of people who share those characteristics. Friedman, 2014, page 235. So again, a lot of my experiences getting a new workplace happened to be through references. It's actually like pretty much all of them. So this was really hard for me to like go over. And I have interviewed people for opportunities and positions in my time. So this was something on the other side of the coin here. But yeah, I think there are a lot of biases that we have, but as far as removing as much of it as possible and finding the best fit uh, is the key here. How can a workplace do better in these areas? I do think by understanding and knowing your bias and speaking these out and putting in strategies to navigate these situations. Again, like they use the example of creating a maybe like a test or some sort of competency examination, or even have multiple benchmarks for interview process to make sure that the bias that you do have is mitigated or lessened um, when you design it to be focused on a certain area. I think those could be really good strategies to in place. Legalities: make sure that we do not use language or impose or do anything that will um, threaten and protect the class, or maybe like just probe too much with questions that might be inappropriate, or deemed unnecessary. Um, yeah, ADA is a big thing in HR and just in general, and it's important that we honor it and just do our very best when we make these type of um, processes happen for everybody. Should organizations hire for a person job fit or person organization fit? It's neither or both or one or the other. I mean, it's a not a straightforward question because you need both. If you hire for a job fit, they might be competent, but if they don't fit the organization, it could be a distraction or just like uh, kind of just not perform because of I don't know alienation or some of that. And then for a person organization fit, they might fit the organization, but they might not be able to perform the actual job. So finding the middle ground or both would be best. But then also there's two things. These are two different strategies to hire. So they have a need, and there's a purpose for them both. But both is best. And what does an extraordinary workplace look like to you? I want peace of mind, but I also want to know that there's security. I want to know that there's growth. I want to know that what I'm doing matters, and I want to be able to have that work-life balance kind of thing where I don't get dragged around into work all day without being able to do the things that I would like to do for myself. And just this last quote here that I have is while similarity among coworkers can foster smoother interactions and better working relations, there's a point at which too much similarities can actually stifle certain elements of performance. The reasons are several. For one, similarity fosters complacency. Friedman, 2014, page 243. I think that the extraordinary workplace would have a lot of diversity, so that we can be able to like not have groupthink, but also to be able to challenge each other and help everybody like sharpen their mind, and especially when it comes to like creativity. And I know that gets lost on a lot of people because people get you know into all the mechanical nature of work, which is robotic sometimes, but I think we're getting away from that. But yeah, so my name is Justin Serrano, and I'm happy to share my thoughts on the best place to work, especially after reading The Best Place to Work by Ron Friedman, PhD. Um, yeah, so I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Sorry for my voice, and you have a good night, and let's have a discussion.